Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was brutal. Absolutely brutal performance by the Yankees in this 3-game series against the Miami Marlins. Today was a game that I know a lot of us have been looking forward to for most of the season. Luis Gil back in the rotation. You know, we missed him, but today he was not good. I'll talk more about him in just a few more minutes, but clearly struggled with command, and he is now 0-1 on the year. This was just an absolute abomination of a series for the Yankees. It's amazing how quickly the feeling around this team turned because, you know, we had a pretty good trade deadline on Thursday. You know, it was, we loaded up on relievers and we're feeling good. We go into Friday night, take a big lead, and the Blue Jays lost, and you're thinking, okay, we're going to be 2.5 games out in the East. But then all of a sudden, things fall apart in that game. You lose in wild fashion. You blow a couple of leads. And all of a sudden, Yankees are swept. And all of a sudden, the Red Sox have passed them in the standings. And the Yankees are beginning to free fall in the standings. Things are not looking good. And they are not going to get easier because they're going to Texas to play a team with very good pitching that could easily sweep you again. And Texas has lost 3 out of the last 4, but they always play the Yankees tough, always. And, you know, the feeling that I get watching this team is that the vibe is just off. And a lot of that has to come from the manager, from the coaching staff. I mean, these guys know they're making too many mistakes. We've seen daily occurrences of just baffling base running moves, bad defense. We saw Boone lose his temper in the dugout at one of his coaches for the first time that I can recall. And you just get the feeling now like the Yankees are in panic mode. And that the playoffs are in real jeopardy here. And I do think if the Yankees miss the playoffs, you will see some changes in leadership. Let's talk about this game.
Let's go. Let's get it going.
So they dented home plate at least today. Yesterday they couldn't score. Today they got a leadoff home run from Trent Grisham. Monster shot, 20 home runs for him now on the year. He has a legitimate shot at 30. I didn't think he would have a chance at 20, but he's got 20 in August. And, I mean, I don't think he's going to get to 30, but I could see 27, maybe 28, you know, if he gets another hot streak in him. It'll be very interesting to see where he ends up as a free agent and how much money he gets, because we know he's a good defender and he's added, you know, some very nice offense to his resume. He's having an .830 OPS season right now, hitting .249. He was only 1 for 2 today, but he did have 2 walks. Marlins got to Luis Gil in the second inning, ultimately knocked him out with just 1 out in the 4th. I'll zoom in on his day in just a few more minutes, but to me, the problem was the fastball command. You know, too many pitches right out over the plate. He still had the velocity. He looked strong, but he also didn't have a good breaking pitch. So they were able to kind of just like lay back and sit on that fastball, and they were all over him. Yankees could do nothing with Stowers in this series. He had 4 RBIs today. He had a 3-run home run. He had the grand slam earlier in the series. So, I mean, you got to figure out how to get that guy out. You can't let him beat you every single day. Yankees did get a couple of runs back on a 2-run home run by Jazz Chisholm, number 19 for him. I did take issue with one thing that was said on the broadcast today, and that was Michael Kay said that Austin Wells was very quietly in a slump, and I'll talk more about Wells in a minute, but to me, his slump has been deafening. It's been so loud. He has not had big hits in weeks. He has completely fallen off the map, and it's interesting that a lot of these catchers that the Yankees keep trading end up outperforming the guys we have on the roster. To me, that's a developmental issue and a scouting issue and a coaching issue. Not getting the most out of their starters. Not getting the most out of their young prospects. And we got people just cranking on him in the chat right now. Talk about Luis Gil, but first, Yankees drop this one. All right, so
Pitcher Spotlight.
we got through the first inning okay. That's got to take a positive there. Mostly I was looking at velocity today. I wanted to see better location than he had. To me, it was a guy who was making his first start. He was a little too amped up. He lacked the finesse that he has when he's really on top of his game. When he's throwing strikes, his stuff is good enough that he's going to absolutely dominate. But today, 4 walks in 3 1/3 innings and also 5 hits. So when you give up 9 base runners in 3 1/3 innings, that means you're just not making good pitches, right? They're either too hittable or they're out of the zone. We got a comment here from Steve Benevuto, who wants to give Grish $700 million this offseason. And Bashman says, this whole Boone thing with keeping the guys on even keel is killing us. Can we get some life out of these guys? Yeah, you're not wrong. We'll get more into all that in just a few minutes. But, the fastball for Luis Gil was 98 today. He looked healthy. Rookie of the year last year. Obviously, a guy with immense talent. Hopefully, he dials it back in. I think he will. As long as the stuff is there, I think he's going to ultimately be pretty good. But today, final line, 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs. All of them earned, 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. Let's talk about Wells. We got a couple of voicemails about Wells. I want to play one of them for you right now.
I want to talk about Austin Wells. My God, he freaking sucks. He can't hit for his life. Swinging at the first pitch. Swinging that bullshit in the dirt. Swinging away. Just trying to go for the home run. It's just not working. And you're going to make the argument saying, oh, maybe he's a good defender. That's why he's getting at bats. Rice throws out runners too.
All right, so first of all,
he can't hit for nothing.
Second of all, don't tell me what argument I'm going to make because I agree with you. He has been terrible. And I think he should ditch the torpedo bat. He's still using it. You still see him use it. I don't know if he uses it every time, but he definitely uses it. Volpe and Chisholm have both ditched it for the most part. And Chisholm, once he ditched it, he went on a crazy streak. Volpe has, I think, 7 home runs since the All-Star break. Paul Goldschmidt, today in the 8th inning, looked like he might have ditched it too. I know he was using it just a couple of days ago. I went back and looked at some photos in Getty Images and stuff like that just to see, when Goldschmidt was using it. And on July 29th, just a few days ago, he was definitely using it. Today, it looked like he was using a traditional bat. I think Wells needs to ditch the torpedo bat, needs to go back to regular baseball bats and try and pull himself out of a funk. Because as I mentioned, a lot of these catchers that the Yankees deal, whether it's Narvaez, whether it's Augustin Ramirez, it's embarrassing that they're hitting so much better than Austin Wells, who was supposed to be an offensive first catcher. And his defense, to me, it hasn't been that great. Sure, he gets framing, but how hard can that be? And also, you got ABS coming next year. I'm telling you, this is looking bad for Austin Wells right now. It's looking bad for the Yankees.
Oh, somebody kill me, please. I want to die.
All right, so we got 50 games remaining. One good thing is that Aaron Judge will be back on Tuesday, supposedly. It'll be interesting to see how they shake it out with him coming back and with Giancarlo Stanton as your primary DH. Because Stanton, as I mentioned last night, just killing the baseball recently. He had an infield single today and struck out a couple of times. But he has been very dangerous. And you don't want to sit him down and cool him off just because you got Judge coming back. I do think that on Tuesday at least, maybe even Tuesday and Wednesday, Stanton will be on the bench. I don't think he's ready to play the outfield. Richard C. says that breakfast burritos are overrated. I love this chat. I like this job. David says, awful series, start to finish. 100% agree. The pitching staff did get some reinforcements. Even though they didn't pitch great in this series, over the next 50 games, they're going to have a chance to step up and fill, some vital roles, some vital innings. So we need them to step up. Guys like Bednar and Bird. When have they pitched in big games? They're going to get thrown into the mix right now. Doval, I expect him to be much better than we saw. Now, he walks a lot of guys. That's something we should be prepared for. But he also gets a lot of strikeouts. The sloppy play, though, has got to come to a stop. This comes from Aaron Boone, right? And I got a call about that. I'm going to play it.
Hey, Derek. Alex from Atlanta. I think we're at the point now that it's pretty obvious that whatever message or whatever mantra Boone is giving to these guys is no longer working. I think Boone has completely lost his locker room, and I think that it is at a point now where a message needs to be sent, and that message is to fire Aaron Boone. These players don't look like they care. They don't look like they're trying. Jazz wouldn't do anything different. Getting picked off at second base on a routine fly ball, it doesn't make any sense. Boone has to go. A message needs to be sent. That's all, Derek. Have a good one.
Yeah, the clubhouse, I mean, it's hard to say what's going on in the clubhouse because we're not in there. But when I hear Jazz Chisholm say he wouldn't do anything different, to me, that's just ridiculous. I mean, you obviously screwed up. There's nothing wrong with admitting you messed up. I do it all the time. I mess up on this show all the time. And I'll admit to it. People mess up. We're human beings. It's okay to say, I had a brain fart, okay? I had a brain fart. Won't happen again. But he's sticking to his guns. And that's because Aaron Boone enables that kind of behavior. But we got a comment here from PEB Met. Says, the Yankees had a chance to give Carlos Mendoza the job, but they gave his blind loyalty to Boone. In terms of manager, the Yankees' loss was a Mets game. You're not wrong. Mendoza's a great manager. I don't think that the Yankees would fire Aaron Boone in season. But if the Yankees miss the playoffs with this roster, with this payroll for the second time in 3 years, Boone will be gone. That I can assure you. 11 Charlie says, fire Boone and have Osmus take over. Season will turn around. I mean, I'd be completely fine with them doing that, but I just don't think they will. Right? Alex says that the comment by Jazz was all he needed to hear to know that Boone lost the locker room. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. And it is now a 50-game sprint. And the Yankees better bring out all the stops, man. Play every single game with an urgency. Play every single game with the idea of being focused for all 9 innings. It's not that hard to focus for 3 hours. I do it every single day. Focus. Keep your head in the game. That's all we need. Let's talk about the Rangers coming up. 58-54. They've lost 3 out of 4, but they are still a good team. They were hot before that. 4 games back in the AL West, competing obviously with the Yankees for a wild card. Their war leader, Corey Seager, having a pretty good year. Only hitting .266. He's usually around a .300 guy, but 15 home runs. 844 OPS, best OPS on the team. 143 OPS plus. Adolis Garcia came from out of nowhere a couple of years ago. He's got 15 home runs, but only a 659 OPS right now. They only have one guy on their team with an 800 OPS, and that's Seager. They got a couple of guys with 700 plus and a lot of 600s. So their offense can be pitched to if the Yankees do their job. And they've got some good guys going. Unfortunately, the Yankees themselves are they are the problem. They beat themselves. And the game is out on the Yankees. Like, if you put the ball in play and pitch around Aaron Judge, who's coming back Tuesday, you can beat the Yankees, right? So I expect Judge coming back to, obviously lengthen the lineup and give the Yankees a more dangerous hitter, but I don't expect the Rangers to pitch to him very much. So we'll see how this works out. But Rangers offense can be pitched to. 676 team OPS, 231 average. I saw some good things from Dominguez in this series. He had 5 hits in the series. I predicted he would have 4, and he got 5 despite being pinch hit 4 halfway through this game. By the way, Austin Slater has shown me absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. He was 0 for 2 today with a couple of strikeouts. Also 689 OPS. I say just let Dominguez play. Right? I mean, he's going to make some outs against lefties. So be it. Let him get the experience. The only way you can get good at something is by sucking at it first. Right? And we've seen that he has the ability to improve. He's improved defensively. We saw the nice catch on Friday. He almost took back the grand slam. Somebody said, I expect Dominguez to catch that. That would have been a spectacular play. Got 18 stolen bases this year, 742 OPS. Let him play. Let's see what he can do. I don't want him getting pinch hit for by Austin Slater. I'm sorry. Take a few more voicemails. This one about the weekend.
Bad day again. Let's summarize. Before the collapse on Friday, it looked like they were going to be 2.5 out. They go ahead and lose 3 straight to the Marlins. They're 5.5 out. Boston passes them. Boston's a 1.5 games ahead of them. Now they're only 1 game ahead of Seattle and 2 games ahead of Texas. So by the time they leave Texas on Wednesday, they may be out of position for even a wild card. Things are not looking good, my friend.
I appreciate the call, and I agree with you 100%. By the way, you might notice some changes to the screen today. I told you, when the Yankees are really bad, I tend to clean my studio. And I cleaned the hell out of my studio over the last few weeks. So the only thing left for me to do is to make some, adjustments, polish up my my screens a little bit. So I put some tips on if you're going to leave voicemails on the screen here. Obviously, speak clearly. Turn down your TV. Sometimes I get calls that are good, but the background, somebody's got the TV too loud, so I can't use it. And have your take ready to go. Know what you're going to say before you dial. That'll help you. I don't ever get on the podcast without having words written on a note here that I can refer to, during dull moments. But just things to help you along. Jot down a few bullet points. It'll help you out. Have a take ready to go. But anyway, let's take a couple more voicemails here. Here's Brian.
This team is garbage.
Garbage.
You have to sit around and watch them get their dicks kicked in all day. Jeez. Freaking Marlins. Who would have thought before this series the Marlins were going to freaking sweep this team after that deadline?
I bet the Marlins did.
Terrible.
I bet the Marlins did. We got a super chat from A-Rod. A-Rod, $5 super chat. A-Rod, you made what? $500 million in your career? That's all you got? $5? Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. He says, you know how I know you're a bad manager? See Gleyber Torres' fielding stats this year versus last year. I haven't even looked at it. But, hey, might as well look at it. Baseball savant, let's take a look and see how Gleyber Torres is doing with a good manager, A.J. Hinch, in Detroit. And it's showing him his fielding run value. I don't have what it is last year. I'm sure we could take a look. But it's showing as slightly below league average. His base running is still dog shit. That's probably the product of, the low baseball IQ and just coming up through the Yankees system there. He's having a great year offensively, hitting .277 with 13 home runs, .807 OPS. I mean, OPS almost 100 points higher than it was last year. Last year, I think he put a ton of pressure on himself to get a contract. Ended up getting a 1-year deal. Maybe it was a 2-year deal. I can't remember. But he did not get a long-term deal with the Tigers. His fielding stats are still not good. Out above average, -1. Arm strength, not great, but second base, you don't worry about that. And offensively, I mean, he's just red all over the place. And a spray chart with baseballs all over the field. So having a solid year. Franklin Lopez says, we are getting swept the next 2 series. I doubt that. I doubt we're going to get swept the next 2 series. But I can see us losing both series. After the Yankees play the Rangers, they come back home and play the Houston Astros. And the Astros are playing well this year. They are going to be up to play the Yankees, and they're going to want to beat the Yankees in their ballpark. Right? So, Yanks have got to step up right there. Quick word from DraftKings, and we'll finish off with some final comments. Nothing says summer like long days, clutch plays, and firing off a few bets on the game. All with DraftKings Sportsbook. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for a gambling problem. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Mary Beth with a great question says, where do you think Randy Levine weighs in on keeping Cashman and Boone? I'm not sure how involved Randy Levine is in the baseball side of things. He seems like he's more like the business side of things. And look, he's been around for a long time in this organization. I feel like there's too many guys that have been around for way too long in this organization. At some point, these guys got to retire, right? You got to get some fresh blood in there. Look, I've never been a Randy Levine fan. And I'm certainly not an Aaron Boone fan or a Brian Cashman fan at this point. I think some fresh outlooks on this team, on this organization, some modern takes could definitely go a long way towards improving some of the problems that we've seen, specifically the base running and, some of the lack of fundamentals. Anyway, Ricardo Colon says, fire Boone and all of the coaches, please.
You can't win!
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Obviously a tough series for the Yankees, but got to get back off the mat. And they got a tough series coming up with Texas, and you just got to hope that they take 2 out of 3. It'd be nice to snap this losing streak tomorrow. Got some good pitchers going in this series. Offense got to step up, stop getting thrown out on the bases, all that stuff. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. If you made it this far, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join our community. You can also be a part of the show by calling in at 718-899-1068. Also, part of the way that we maintain and fund all of this is through NYYDesigns.shop. Check it out now. Get all sorts of fun Yankees merch, hats, hoodies, zip-ups, beanies, mugs, you name it. We've got it. Check it out, NYYDesigns.shop. And check out Pinstripe Territory on all your favorite podcast platforms. We are the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We're here for post-game shows after every single game, and we're here before a lot of games to talk about the game, preview the lineup, the pitching matchups, and things like that. And we're here all off-season to talk about the latest in Yankees rumors, news, etc. Join our community. We'll see you next time.